Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope your day is going great. Mine's been fantastic, and we got some juice to talk about again today, guys. We are continuing the topic that we started yesterday that was such a big surprise for me to be talking about, and I'm sure it was a big surprise for you guys to hear about, which indeed is the drug problem that is now all of a sudden plaguing the Overwatch League that nobody has ever talked about until yesterday when Taimu mentioned it on his stream. So for those of you guys who didn't see the video yesterday, I encourage you to go watch it. And just for context, right now I'm going to go ahead and roll this clip of Taimu yesterday talking about drug usage in the Overwatch League.
What the fuck would I get Adderall?
Their first pushes.
Imagine if you use Adderall and then it gets banned in the league, and then you're like, there's probably like 20 players who use Adderall or so in the league, and imagine if it was illegal. It was illegal to completely use.
It's going globe. He grappled globe.
Adderall. They've been so fucked, dude.
Yeah. Fall back.
So that is the clip that we all seen yesterday. He exposed that there is at least 20 people in the Overwatch League using Adderall, which is at the minimum 15%. And well, today, guys, we got more in-depth information coming out from more Dallas Fuel players, AKM and Unco, both discussing it on their stream in French, and we do have the translations, guys. So at the beginning of the video, we're going to be looking at that clip, talking about the translations, everything Unco and AKM had to say about this situation. It honestly is really crazy, and I just did not expect this to be a huge topic right now about the Overwatch League, but it needs to be discussed and Blizzard needs to respond to it, because now it looks like they are becoming a huge target in this, because around 8 months ago in February, Nate Nancer, the commissioner of the Overwatch League, stated in some random article that he does not believe the Overwatch League should test for drugs because there is no proof that any drugs can help improve your gameplay in Overwatch. So yeah, very interesting response. We're going to take a look at that as well. Today is going to be all about this Adderall usage situation. At the end of the video, we will be taking a look at some clips from Unco, though, just because the guy is so damn insane. He also popped off on his stream today. It wasn't all about Adderall, but if you guys are excited to hop into this video, learn everything and anything that has been talked about lately when it comes to Adderall usage in the Overwatch League, be sure, do yourself a favor and subscribe to my channel. You don't want to miss out on any notifications about Overwatch League news, updates, drama, whatever it is. Subscribe, and now let's go ahead and hop into the video. So as I said, Unco and AKM were on stream today. Unfortunately, they were speaking French, so we can't really watch the video and know exactly what they're saying, unless I guess you guys speak French or understand it. So I guess for that sake, I will play the clip just in case there is anybody who does speak and read French. You can go ahead and leave a comment down below, also translating everything, just to double check and make sure all the translations are correct. I'm pretty sure mine is right because it's mass upvoted on Reddit. But let's go ahead and roll the clip, and I will pin anybody who does fully translate it correctly.
Que penses-tu du manque de contrôle concernant le Adderall en Overwatch League? Est-ce que ça arrive autant que sur code? Bah, j'espère qu'un jour ils vont mettre ça, parce que moi ça me casse les couilles. Par exemple, il y a quelques petits joueurs de Widow qui sont venus très fort d'un coup sur Widow depuis qu'ils utilisaient ça. Hein.
T'as dit quoi?
T'as pas vu que Taimu sur son stream il a dit qu'il y avait au moins plus de 20 joueurs qui utilisaient l'Adderall en Overwatch League?
Comment il sait ça?
Bon, en vrai c'est évident, il y a des joueurs qui sont devenus des gods d'un coup. Hein. Et en vrai ça aide à mort l'Adderall. Hein. Quand t'as besoin de te concentrer, t'as besoin d'être 100% focus sur ton truc. Mais moi je pense, ouais, j'espère qu'un jour ils vont rajouter des tests pour cette merde. Hein. Si t'as pas de prescription, en fait si t'as pas de prescription, tu devrais pas en avoir en fait, tu devrais pas utiliser ça.
Ah perso j'ai jamais eu besoin de ça parce que bah je suis passé de God à God du coup.
Voilà, bien vu ça.
Alright, so there it is, guys, and it is translated on Reddit and posted on Reddit by a guy named RedSQA, so thank you to him for posting this and putting the translations up. Let's go ahead and take a look at what he said was said in this clip. Translation: AKM, reading a question from chat. What do you think of the lack of control about Adderall use in the Overwatch League? Is it as big of a problem as it is in Call of Duty esports? AKM responded and he said this: I hope that they are going to do controls at some point because it is really busting my balls. For instance, there are a few little Widow players who became suddenly very, very good at Widow since they've been using it. And Unco kind of overheard the conversation, I guess, and he said this: "What were you saying?" And AKM responded, "Didn't you see that time you said on stream that there was more than 20 people on Adderall in the Overwatch League?" Unco responded and he said, "How does he know?" AKM responds and says, "It is quite obvious, honestly. Some players suddenly became gods. Truthfully, Adderall helps a shit ton when you need concentration, when you need to be 100% focused doing your thing. I hope they are going to implement tests for this shit. Actually, if you don't have a prescription, you should simply not have any. You should not be able to use this shit." Unco responded and he said, "Personally, I have never needed it since I have always been a god." You gotta love that. Unco still being sarcastic, still being funny. I mean, he is a god. You guys will see at the end of this video the clips. He popped off on Kings Row in Hollywood today, destroying Seagull. But anyways, moving back into the topic of Adderall usage in the Overwatch League, it seems like AKM is an avid believer that there is players in the league actually abusing it to become better and focus better at the game. Specifically, he called out a few Widowmakers. Unfortunately, we didn't get their names, but AKM has his suspicions on who he thinks might be using Adderall. And if you think about it, he said players that randomly became gods on Widowmaker. To be honest, there are two players that come to my mind instantly in regards to like stage 3 and stage 4 who just snapped and instantly became amazing at Widowmaker, and that's going to be Surefour and Soon. Now, I'm not going to say Surefour and Soon are both using Adderall, but they do kind of line up with what AKM is saying. As for Surefour, he just seems like a really calm and cool dude. It never seemed like he was taking Adderall at all. He's always been relaxed and never really sunk into the pressure or anything, so I think Surefour probably just grinded and became really good at it. As for Soon, it wouldn't really make sense for AKM to call out Soon because, I mean, they've been teammates for so long. They're probably friends. They just competed together on Team France in the World Cup. Yeah, they didn't do that great and there was some France drama, but they go back even further to the year before that and the year before that. They've played 3 years together on Team France in the World Cup. Not only that, they played on Rogue together as teammates, one of the best organizations in Overwatch pre-Overwatch League. So like the history there is just huge, and I don't think he would specifically call out his own friend if they are friends. By the way, guys, that French drama, I'm going to be covering it in tonight's video, or I guess tomorrow morning's video. I still am collecting a bunch of information. It's a whole thing, so you guys should stay tuned to that. But back on to Soon and AKM. So in that regard, it wouldn't make sense for AKM to call out Soon, but then maybe he is calling out Soon, and he isn't saying his name specifically because he doesn't want to get Soon in trouble, but he wants to let them know that he is onto them and that he should stop using it. Who knows, man? I have no idea. It could be Soon, it could be Surefour, it could be anybody, it could be everybody. This is all just alleged information coming from players in the league, and I definitely believe it. I've seen in many esports, Call of Duty, CSGO, specifically the FPS genres, a lot of players abuse this drug in order to focus and concentrate more. Now again, I am absolutely not accusing anybody of using Adderall, and I am not accusing anybody of using Adderall, if that makes sense. I don't think AKM thinks it's Soon or Surefour or anybody else. I'm just saying it could line up. I'm throwing out possible things that people are thinking and make sense. But that's pretty much it for AKM and Unco on the stream when they were talking about Adderall usage. Let's go ahead and move on now and talk a little bit about Blizzard and Nate Nancer, who is the commissioner, who mentioned something in an article earlier this year about drug tests in the Overwatch League. So yes, this was done in February after Stage 2. It was covered on a website called Shack News, and they were asking Nate Nancer questions. They asked this: esports is unique in the sense that there are different kinds of performance enhancing drugs that in traditional sports, but the issue of drug testing is no less important. With that said, are there any unique substances or supplements that the league has had to research and ban from competition? Nate Nancer, again the commissioner of Overwatch League, responded with this: no, I've yet to see a scientific report study that says that there is any substance that makes you better at playing video games. When that happens, we'll address it at that time. We have a code of conduct that says our players can't be intoxicated when they're playing and on stage and at league events. But drug testing is not a thing we do currently. It's something that we'll continue to evaluate and keep our eyes on as esports grows and evolves, as more studies come out on what potentially can affect performance in video games. But we haven't seen studies on that yet. So again, this was done in February, so about 9 months ago. This is really interesting. Nate Nasser just straight up saying that we don't think there's a drug issue or any players trying to use enhancement drugs. Matter of fact, we don't believe any drugs can enhance your gameplay in video games or give you an advantage. So I guess I can kind of see his point of view on this. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's still a little weird, but he did follow up and say that there is a rule in the code of conduct that players are not allowed to play on stage while intoxicated, which is, I guess, an interesting choice of words, because when you think intoxicated, you kind of just think alcohol. I don't know. It's a little weird of a word. I guess it can mean other drugs as well, because, you know, intoxicated means you're taking drugs. But like, this is nothing strict at all because they don't even drug test. It doesn't really say anything about Adderall. But in the next question, Shaq News, they weren't backing off. They wanted to ask more about it, and they said this. Something that my colleagues on the staff have pointed out is there a concern about Adderall usage? Nate Nasser responded and he said, Adderall is a legal prescription in the United States of America. And again, there's no data that suggests it makes you better at playing Overwatch. I don't know. I don't really like this response from Nate Nasser, to be honest, guys. It's pretty obvious that it can probably help certain players in a certain way, and it is illegal to use unless you have a prescription. But the fact is, using Adderall when you're not prescribed to it is against the law. So anybody who is using Adderall during the Overwatch League, or just using it in general who is in the Overwatch League and doesn't have a prescription for it, is breaking the law and can be subject to getting in huge trouble. But it's not like they're going to figure out who is using it because there's no drug testing, so how are they going to regulate this? I really feel like Blizzard needs to nip this in the butt now that there are players coming out saying that there is an Adderall problem in the Overwatch League. That is not a good look for the teams, for all the people paying the money for the Overwatch League, the organizations, Blizzard. When your players are going around and rumoring that other players are using unfair advantages that are drugs, that's crazy, and I expect Blizzard to really nip this in the butt and probably start drug testing now, or at least come out with a very serious statement saying they're taking control over this situation. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot more players starting to talk about this, and I wouldn't be surprised to hear about players getting caught using Adderall now, or at least exposed for it. And honestly, it's unfortunate. I would hate to see players getting in trouble for using Adderall. Yeah, it's an unfair advantage, and definitely they should get suspended for it, but it could ruin their entire career. And for some people, it's just like one-time thing or a couple-time thing where they made a big mistake. And I don't know, I guess I have sympathy sort of for them, but then I shouldn't, because again, it's enhancing, it's not fair. It's a weird situation. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about all of this. If you think they should be banned, suspended, completely outed. I guess it is good for drama and will be a lot of stuff for me to cover, so it's good in that regard. And I know you guys love the juice, you love the drama, so it'll be definitely something to headline and talk about, but still, it's gonna suck for the players. This will be an unfortunate situation. You know I'll cover it from the top to the bottom, though. If you do want to stay updated on this crazy Adderall situation, drug usage in the Overwatch League, subscribe to my channel right now. I'll keep you guys updated every single day when Blizzard responds, when players get caught, whatever it is, you'll find it on my channel. But let's go ahead and move on now and take a look at a couple of clips from Unco's stream earlier today. As he said earlier, he does not need Adderall. He is just an absolute god. Watch him pop off on Zenyatta, guys. Crazy stuff.
My shield's one. Nice. Alles one. I got stuck. Alles one. Nice.
I'm gonna make close actually. Well, someone clip that, I think, no?
It's fine. Do we have combo yet? I need to check shit. Nice one. Break one. Just drop it. Let's get this red break. What do I do? Time left. Right? Frank and die.
The man is just a pure animal. If I had to take a guess out of the Zenyatas, if any of them were on Adderall, my guess would be Jonak and probably Unco. These two are just so damn incredible. I can't wait for the next season of Overwatch League to start. By the way, I'm not accusing them of using Adderall. That was a complete joke, just because they're so damn good. Anyways, guys, February is still a couple months away. 3 months. Oh, it's such a long time away. I cannot wait. Still covering the news every single day with the double uploads, guys. So if you want to stay updated on all that content, be sure to subscribe. That's going to be it for me, though. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.